How would you grade the Mets overall grading their spring?
Okay, so tasked with doing this, I felt a little bit bad about the fact that I don't think it was a particularly good spring for the Mets, but that doesn't mean that I don't think it's going to be a good regular season for the Mets. I gave the Mets spring a C, and then I actually think it could have gone even lower than that. Here's the thing. Think about it if you're a Mets fan. Do you feel better about this team's chances of winning a World Series today than you did February 14th at the outset of spring? Probably not. The Edwin Diaz injury, which, is not an indictment of the WBC, but it's certainly a blow to the Mets. The Quintana injury, even the idea that they DFA'd Darren Ruff at the end of spring. Now, I'm sure that spring was not the deciding factor for Darren Ruff. It's not like that was a referendum on everything Darren Ruff has done, but that's certainly not how they wanted spring training to pan out. I'm sure they wanted him to come in, hit it all over the place, feel great about that, be like, okay, all right, maybe last year was an aberration, but they don't feel that way. They DFA'd him. I think at the end of spring, things look worse than at the beginning.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, look, the DFA, though, of Ruff maybe took it up to an A+ as far as I was concerned. But no, prior to that, and all kidding aside, because of the Diaz injury, because of what happened with Correa in the winter, you go into the spring, there's no way you could feel better about this team after spring than you did before. Now, it doesn't, to your point, doesn't mean anything come regular season, but the spring, I'm with you there. C, maybe C+. All right, JJ, what about your Yankees? How would you grade the Yankees spring?
All right, first off, I'm glad I'm not in Professor Kaiser's class for spring training, or I'd be in a whole lot of trouble. That's number one. I'd give the Yankees a B, a grade I'm very used to seeing at my time at Syracuse University. It would be an A if we weren't talking about the loss of Carlos Rodon, the loss of Luis Severino, the idea that the Yankee pitching depth is going to be compromised and tested here right out of the gate. But Anthony Volpe stole the show. I mean, my goodness, we're talking about this guy, somebody we have heard so much about, now getting the opportunity to be the youngest position player starting for the New York Yankees since Derek Jeter on opening day because of the fact that he had a monster spring training. So there was good in his spring training for the Yankees, but the pitching is a concern, no doubt. No Rodon, no Severino. That's a problem, Sal, right out of the gate.
I think probably the number one thing when grading spring trainings would be health.
Of course.
And Diaz, it's a devastating blow.
Killer.
Yankees hit hard 3/5 of their starting rotation down, so that's why. And look, B is a pretty good grade, but that is why you would have any negatives with the Yankees from the spring.